I thought it was a great performance. You know, I thought I did what I wanted in the ring. I thought I picked it up when I wanted to. I thought I banged when I wanted to, boxed real well. I don't take nothing from it.
You have power, you carry what? Pacquiao, we forget about a guy like that. He used to be a jockey. And what did he do? He carried his power, and he carried his speed, obviously, as the smaller man. Crawford carries his speed, he carries his power, and the most important thing is what's inside of Crawford. He's a special guy. He doesn't believe you can beat him. And it's hard to beat a guy who doesn't believe you can beat him.
I still would be running myself in the dirt because I always felt like if I put more days in work, then I got just as much days.
Did Terence "Bud" Crawford, fresh off the most defining win of his entire career against Canelo Alvarez, just drop subtle hints about walking away from the sport? Moments after etching his name among boxing's immortals, cryptic posts and quiet clues began to stir online. At the very height of his dominance, Crawford has left fans speechless, suggesting that retirement might be closer than anyone imagined. He's conquered every challenge, proved every doubter wrong, and delivered a masterclass that will be remembered for generations.
But that ninth round came, you got into your stance, you got lost. Oh, he finna try to bang with him. And you had those exchanges. And did that just happen, or you knew when that bell rang, that ninth round, I'm finna try to see, I'm gonna test him?
No, I just knew just to pick it up because, you know, it was getting close to the championship rounds, and I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I set a tone that I was in charge.
He made a big mistake at the end of that round, though.
Yeah.
He reached out and acknowledged that he shook his head and...
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, that's a big mistake.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
And he really made the first mistake at the weigh-in.
Yeah.
People don't understand. Like, that don't mean everything. That don't mean that Terence is gonna win the fight or whoever gonna win the fight. But when you break that steer, it wasn't just him breaking the steer first. He reached his hand out to you at the weigh-in. I said, ooh-wee. Then he did it again in the ninth round. When he did it in the ninth round, I say, yeah, this fight, it ain't over, but it's over. He got his respect, and that's really what he came here to get. You seen him do that, right?
Yeah. I walked away.
Yeah.
I walked off.
Yeah. What was you thinking when he tried, when you seen that concession?
I'm like, man, we ain't touching no hands.
But did you think like, oh, I got him?
No, I didn't think nothing. I already knew I had him. I felt like I was winning all the rounds except, you know what I mean, one. I felt like he could have got the, you know what I mean, what was it, the fifth round? You know what I mean? But all the other rounds, I'm like, I'm in control.
Crawford appears poised to make the ultimate statement, leaving the ring as the undefeated king of modern boxing. Was his historic triumph the perfect mic drop moment, or could there still be one final chapter left in this legendary story? On the night of September 13th, 2025, everything was on the line: legacy, pride, and perfection. The risk was massive. One loss could have shattered his flawless record, but instead of faltering, Crawford rose above it all. With unmatched timing, precision, and power, he dismantled one of the sport's biggest icons, etching a victory that will echo through boxing history forever.
It became a fight where Crawford made it where Canelo, to have any chance, he had to go get close. So he had to go through a bad neighborhood.
Yep.
And Crawford mugged him. It's that simple. He had to go through a bad neighborhood to get anything done, to get to the place that something was going to be done good.
Yeah.
And he got mugged going through that neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Well, if I think about it, if I do come back, can you train me?
We're not even,
Please. I'm asking you right now if I do.
Do they have commercials on this thing? You guys got commercials?
Fellow fighter Blair Cobbs later revealed that he believed Canelo was hurt several times during the bout, and that a knockout in the final rounds was entirely possible. It was proof of Crawford's absolute dominance. That victory wasn't just another win, it was history in motion. Crawford became the first male boxer of the modern four-belt era to unify championships across 3 different weight divisions, an achievement no one had ever reached before. He'd climbed the highest peak, one so tall it erased all doubt about his greatness. But even before the opening bell, whispers about his future had already begun. In a May 27th interview with Sporting News Australia, when asked if this could be his final fight, Crawford simply smiled and delivered 5 words that shook the sport. Who knows? We shall see.
What are we boxing for at this point? What else is there to do? There's always going to be a YouTuber or a reporter or somebody conjuring up another challenge. We box to get ourselves in a better financial position, to build a name and a legacy. Those boxes are checked. What else are we doing? Why are we still in the game?
Who knows? We shall see. At first, those words sounded like a fighter simply staying focused on the mission ahead. But looking back now, they were the first sign that retirement wasn't some distant thought, it was already taking shape in Crawford's mind. The Canelo fight wasn't just another challenge. It was the ultimate crossroad of his career. Victory would mean perfection, the ideal ending to a flawless legacy. And when the dust finally settled, the whispers only grew louder. Moments after the bout, as the world watched live on Netflix, Max Kellerman asked the question everyone had been thinking. Was this the last time we'd ever see Terence Crawford in the ring? Still breathing heavy from 12 grueling rounds, Crawford stayed calm, offering the same quiet mystery. Like I said before, I don't know, he replied. I need to sit down with my team and talk about it. There was no denial, no promise of a comeback, only silence that spoke volumes. In a sport where fighters often plan their next 3 moves ahead, his hesitation felt different. It wasn't avoidance, it was intention. And for a man who had just proven himself as the best on the planet, that silence hit harder than any punch. It left fans wondering, had we just witnessed the greatest finale in boxing history?
Right. Yeah, but then when you get to that point where you know, like, oh, I can take a rest day because, you know, let my muscles, you know, recover so I can get more out of it. In this fight, I ain't gonna get tired. I've been here before. I put the work in. That was always my fear, is being in a fight and getting tired.
Just a couple of weeks later, on September 30th, Terence Crawford joined the legendary Andre Ward on the All the Smoke Fight podcast. When Ward asked about what comes next, Crawford finally gave fans a glimpse into his mindset. I'm just chilling, man, he said calmly. I haven't even had the time to sit down with my team yet, but I've spoken with my family and I know what they want. He never directly said what his family wanted, but the message between the lines was unmistakable. It felt as though those closest to him, the ones who've seen every sacrifice, every brutal training camp, and every scar, were ready for him to finally hang up the gloves. The life of a boxer isn't just demanding. It's punishing both mentally and physically for the fighter and everyone who loves him. For his family, watching him conquer the sport, secure his future, and walk away healthy might be the perfect ending. After all, what more is left to prove when you've already reached the top of the mountain? As a modern legend who himself walked away undefeated, Andre Ward approached the conversation with the wisdom of someone who's been there. He spoke about the rare privilege of leaving the sport with an untarnished record and lasting health, a gift only a handful of greats have ever known. Ward didn't lecture or offer advice, but his questions carried the quiet weight of experience. Each one nudged Crawford to look inward, to think beyond belts and glory, and to consider what truly matters when the final bell rings.
Terence Crawford know when it's time to hang it up.
When I want to. You know, I'm going to retire from boxing before I let boxing retire me. You know, I always said that I'm going to retire on my own terms, and I'm going to feel good because everything that I did it my way. Whether it took me however many years to get to the point where I'm at, I did it my way. You know, a lot of people can't say that. A lot of people can criticize me and say, oh, well, he re-signed with Top Rank and he's this, he's that. But at the time, that was the best move for me in my career. You feel me?
Yeah.
While his family's wishes clearly mattered most, the boxing world itself was split right down the middle. The argument for retirement was powerful and straightforward perfection, an untouched 42-0 record and a legacy already carved in stone. Many believed there was nothing left to chase, nothing left to prove. Among them was the great Roy Jones Jr., one of the first and most passionate voices urging Crawford to step away while still on top to protect. The rare perfection that so few fighters ever achieve. Even former rivals like Sean Porter, a man who's felt Crawford's brilliance up close, shared the same belief. Porter admitted that Crawford had already done it all, suggesting there was nothing left to prove. For him, the chapter was complete, and walking away now would only cement Crawford's legacy as one of the rare few who left the game on their own. Terms legendary trainer and analyst, Teddy Atlas issued a familiar warning, the story of great fighters who stayed just one bout too long. He urged Crawford to protect his perfect ending while it's still untouchable. Even Blair Cobbs, who ranks Crawford as the second greatest boxer of all time behind only Muhammad Ali, echoed that sentiment. Having spoken with Crawford multiple times, Cobbs shared a personal and respectful message that the champion should walk away proud, knowing he took the hardest road to reach greatness and conquered every challenge placed before him. The signs were there long before fight night. Fellow champion Stephen Fulton had even predicted it, saying if Crawford wins, he'll probably retire. But standing on the other side was the irresistible pull of fame and fortune. A rematch with Canelo promised another 9-figure payday, and new challenges awaited at middleweight. The debate quickly ignited: should Crawford protect a flawless legacy that few could ever touch, or gamble it all in pursuit of even greater glory? Adding to the growing debate were voices that carried rare insight. Crawford's close friend and former opponent, Timothy Bradley Jr., spoke from experience only a fighter could understand. He explained that after a victory of such historic magnitude, there was no logical reason to risk perfection. In Bradley's eyes, Crawford had earned the right to walk away on his own terms, undefeated, unbroken, and forever remembered as one of the greats.
Was it important to you to retire unbeaten?
Oh yeah, man, listen. I can be a sore winner and a sore loser. Like, I'm that competitive. Like, I don't like to lose at anything. If I had a loss on my record right now, I probably think about it daily. Probably something I have to work through daily. Like, man, if I'd have just So I'm glad I got that.
Gotta rank him probably in your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10, because he definitely has the skill of a top 5. Just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get, and that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class. We want the best opposition near our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe, Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound, that maybe Inoue, because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donell. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up 3 times. He lost nobody. Don't tell me he better than Bud, no.
Offering a completely different perspective was the legendary Bernard Hopkins. Renowned for his remarkable longevity and sharp business sense, Hopkins presented the counter-argument. With Crawford's fame soaring higher than ever, Hopkins believed now was the moment to cash in on a few more blockbuster paydays. He cautioned that opportunities of this magnitude don't come around twice, and once they're gone for good. But for Crawford, the talk of retirement runs far deeper than his own legacy. For years, he's been one of boxing's loudest voices advocating for fighters' welfare once the spotlight fades. In numerous interviews, he's passionately called for pensions, retirement plans, unions, and proper health coverage for athletes whose bodies have been pushed to the limit by the sport they love. So for Crawford, stepping away isn't just a personal decision, it's part of a bigger mission. He's painfully aware of the countless fighters who gave everything and were left with nothing. His deliberate approach to retirement shows a man thinking beyond fame and fortune, a champion aiming to set a new standard. Built on integrity, protection, and legacy. So, what does it all mean for one of boxing's greatest modern warriors? The truth remains wrapped in mystery, a puzzle made of quiet words, family influence, and a legacy already beyond question. The mix of uncertainty and pressure has created a moment of pure anticipation. Only Crawford himself knows what comes next. Whether he decides to walk away as an undefeated, undisputed icon, or step back into the ring for one last massive showdown, Terence "Bud" Crawford has already changed the game forever. The real question isn't about his greatness, it's how the final chapter of his legendary story will be written. So that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest boxing updates. And don't forget, drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Stay tuned because we've got more explosive stories coming your way. Until next time, this is the Top Boxing signing off.